Hello all and welcome to the garden update. Getting my seeds planted for this upcoming season. I have hillbillies, a couple stupice, the rest are peppers over here, wide varieties. I'll throw in the comment all the varieties that I got. Trying some hydroponic tomatoes here. I got a little test that I'm going on. This is going to be documented 1 versus 1. I have 4 in here and 4 in there. Broccolis, cauliflowers, cabbage, and the rest are tomatoes, which again, I don't need to tell you every single one of them that I got planted in here. I'll put that in the description down below. But not too bad of growth. I'm assuming these 2 right here are stupice. Those are going to be my container varieties. They're going to go into probably an 8 or a 12 gallon container, maybe self-watering. These are hillbillies right here. They're pretty huge tomatoes. I'm going to do those in a bigger pot, but they might get planted outside because they are a very large indeterminate variety. But looking over the house plants, crotons, these are kind of new. They ain't looking so great. We got them $1 at Lowe's. Try and bring them back to health though. These are a croton as well. Some diffibachas. Those are grown soilless, completely hydroponic nutrients on the inside of there. Very light dosage on them, and they've been thriving really well. If you can see, we've getting some pretty good variegation. Lucky bamboo. If you can take the stalk back down to the main stalk, it's already put 2 new shoots off. Hard to get on camera, sorry, it's wobbling. But this top one's probably going to get transplanted into a different container. I'll cut it off there and grow those 2 out in that one. And I decided to hang a pothos because I had some lights that were on the fish tank that weren't doing nothing but illuminating the fish. And if you look down here, it's going to be hard to see, but the roots on my asparagus are floating in this tank. The crown sometimes is in the water, sometimes is out of the water. But I added great white mycos. It's beneficial bacteria, mycorrhiza, and trichoderma. Trichoderma is going to be in an explanation in another video. But if you can see, whenever I first started these asparagus, the roots that were coming out were only single roots. They had no, let's see if I can get them here, they had no side branching on them. They had, and it's not actually side branching of the roots that you see here. This is actually the fungi, the mycorrhiza that is creating that on the end of the root. So this will be interesting on the experiments and whatnot to see what it does. Here's an update on the pak choi. 1 single jalapeno plant in the back. I'm doing a couple basil cuttings, 1 direct sow, 1 right over here that's just getting a little splash, kind of like what a arrow cloner would. Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of iron deficiency in the leaves, if you can see it on the outer edges there. Get that to focus in. So I've got some iron in. I just put a couple capsules of standard iron. It's only accessible now because I'm using beneficial bacteria, and it's not that great. There's no reason to use that instead of EDTA iron. But it works. High dosage to get low availability to the plants, and I have to keep my pH down. There's the asparagus ferns. They run right down up by the air hose. This was an asparagus crown that was pulled out of a very discounted bag of crowns at Walmart, and the only one that actually successfully lived. But as you can see, I'm getting a new asparagus spear. And they're going to grow small. This crown still has a lot of ways to go before it turns into a very good crown. But man, look at the roots on that thing, actually just completely living great in this deep water culture aquaponics. There's my monster. And you can see the catfish too, but my monster goldfish. That thing's been through hell and back. But it loves it. Absolutely loves it. A new houseplant to the family is actually now getting some new growth, if you can see here. You can see there, putting on new growth. The spider plants are showing signs of re-vegging for springtime. They're getting just enough from the window here that they know springtime's coming along. The catfish, you know, their tank's dirty, it needs clean, but it ain't gonna be long. I think that tank's getting pulled down. Here we got, I've been feeding this just a little bit of the hydroponic nutrients from the basil tank. And it seems to be keeping the plant very healthy and green, but I ain't showing any new signs of new growth or anything from about a week ago. So I got to do a slurry test on the soil, see what's going on with the pH. But my basil, this is growing like wildfire. I have 3 LED 9-watt bulbs that I took the globes off of. They're just standard house bulbs. A little cooler rating on the spectrum. They're a little bit bluer than the standard ones that I was using, but these ones are working really well for my basil. If you can see this from that node right there up, and these leaves, which get in comparison to my hand, those are pretty big for that size basil plant, are a week's worth of growth. This one, it fell over, but the actual basil is looking amazing. I went ahead and took some mint that I had experimented with, put that in here, and then there was another jalapeno seed that popped up over there. I'm just testing it. I don't want to crowd all these and whatnot, but I just went ahead and plugged it in beside the foam, and it seemed to survive the transplant. That was last night. The leaves are still good and everything looks copacetic with it, but these are getting 550 to 600 ppm's worth of nutrient solution, and then the bio breakdown, I give it ammonia as a feeding for the beneficial bacteria, and they take ammonia and convert it to nitrite, and then those beneficial bacteria that eat nitrite convert it to nitrate that's available for the plants. It's really a bio setup. It's interesting. It was really hard to get fine-tuned. It took a long time for the tank to get the established bacteria, but everything is working so well in this tank. It was practically a free 10-gallon fish tank, and all I did was put aluminum covered, well, not aluminum covered, but foil tape with bubble foiled insulation. And then it just runs the standard filter. That creates just enough oxygen to keep all the roots happy down below here for this. So anybody that wants to get a free 10-gallon fish tank can pick one of these up and build this for practically nothing. I mean, pennies. Absolutely pennies. So, but that's the growth update. We will see you guys next week. Hopefully this bed right here will be up and going by then, because that I planted chives, parsley, and oregano in it. And that's going to be a planter box that we set inside the window. It's going to be a west-facing window, not south-facing. Unfortunately, we don't have any good south-facing windows besides that one in the house, which really doesn't get much because we have a house right next door. And then it comes through this wall, and there's a back porch that shades all that, and then there's a tree not too far outside out back that keeps the light from that one. So I gotta actually get artificial lighting. These are light setups that I built from $1 light fixtures I got from store Infinity 99. Bought a whole bunch of those, mounted it to a 2x4, and these are the lights that I am using. They are $1 cheapies from Dollar Tree. Take the globes off of them, These are a little bit more of a yellow spectrum than I like, but they are cheap enough that you can just go ahead and pop the globes off and slap them in and grow stuff. The light that I'm using down here is a Walmart LED shop light. Doing really, really well so far. We'll see if anything stretches, but they look like they're staying really compact. I have an electric heater here blowing. It's not great for the humidity, but I do water 1 to 2 times a day for these. But it's keeping the soil temperatures 70 to 75. And it's just great for germination. I'll slowly take that off of them and let the temperatures in the soil get down to the mid-50s. What it'll stay at in the house. I keep the house about 68 to 70 degrees. And here is the happy goldfish tank. Again, so far we cycled it for a month, no fish, added the fish, and I have not had any losses. Did a half water change out a week ago, 3 days ago maybe. And this is the new spider plant. No, not new spider plant, the new growth on the spider plant. But that'll be going outside here soon, making lots of babies. Pothos, pothos, pothos. But that's the update for this week. I'll see you maybe later on this week whenever I do the side-by-side hydroponic versus soil testing. I'll get a little bit more into the soil that I've been using and the actual nutrient levels, pH levels, what I've added, what I haven't added, and we'll go from there. But I think I got these ones down pat, so we'll see. I'll give you my mix whenever I get back. Bye-bye, YouTube.